3 tips that you can apply right now to help you pay off your tuition fee if you're an international student and you need help. A lot of YouTubers have put out this information that it's so easy to relocate to the UK via the study route. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on the link that brought you to this video, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a helpful one for you if you're an international student in the UK currently or planning to relocate to the UK via the study route. So the study route has really helped a lot of people, and especially since the introduction of the dependent visa, whereby you can actually travel to study with your family as your dependents. I'm actually on a dependent visa. I recently relocated with my family to the United Kingdom. Yeah, so there are some challenges, however, that international students are facing, and most of them revolve around paying tuition fees. Why? Because most of the international students in this day and age are, and this basically applies to you if you're a graduate student, because of course if you're an undergraduate student and you're coming to study in the UK, even though a lot of them take on jobs, but your parents have to be balling to send you to school in the UK as an undergraduate, 3 years, 4 year, 5-year course. Your parents have money now. You may not even be worried about tuition because there's money to pay your tuition. But if you are a graduate student, it's likely that you're financing your own education, and a lot of times most of these people who have worked for some years and have opted to leave their job, relocate to the UK for a better life, for a greener pasture, and then when they get here, they either take on jobs to enable them to bankroll their tuition, or maybe they have scholarship. But if you don't have a scholarship and you're going to bankroll your education, it's very likely that you might be having some of these challenges I'm going to be talking about. Number one, you might be facing the challenge of getting a time from your studies to work, actually to make money to pay the fees. So number two would be that you might not even be getting enough shifts to make enough money to bankroll your tuition fee. And then number three is that what you do get in terms of the remuneration for the time you do put in for your work is not sufficient to pay your tuition. So I'm going to break this all down. I've just mentioned 3 challenges that international students are likely to face in the UK. A lot of YouTubers have put out this information that it's so easy to relocate to the UK via the study route. This might not be absolutely incorrect, but it might not be also absolutely correct. There are challenges, and that is why a lot of people need to know this challenge before you set off on this journey to come to the UK to do your postgraduate. The challenge I mentioned is having time from your studies to be able to work. Now, being here as an international student is a huge plus to your resume. But you also have to consider the fact that you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, because you're here on a student visa. Guess what? If you're not attending class, it's going to be recorded against you. Attendance is mandatory, and the Home Office actually gets feedback from the schools about students and their performance, as well as their attendance. If you are not up to 75% in your attendance, you're likely going to get a strike from the Home Office. And when it comes time for you to renew your visa, either through the post-study work visa route or which other visa you want to apply for, that will come up. So you need to attend your lectures, you need to be serious about doing your schoolwork. You just have to focus on your studies. So you discover that you might not even have the time to attend class and then do after school studies, probably tutorials or something. You might not even have the time to actually work. So you see that a lot of international students struggle to even get 20 hours a week. I don't need to tell you, you probably already know that as an international student, your visa entitles you to maximum of 20 hours per week for work. So any job you're looking for, you have to be gunning towards 20 hours and below, not above. So when you're studies are so intense, and sometimes they might not be that intense, but sometimes they actually are very, very intense. You might not be able to put in that 20 hours because you do have to study. This is a world class education, and you just have to put in the time. The second challenge is that you might not be getting enough work. What do I mean? Yes, I'm grateful that there was this period of time where the UK government allowed international students to relocate to the UK with their dependents to study. Yes, but that's created a bit of a challenge, and this challenge is basically in the labor market. It's also affected the real estate market, but that's not what we're talking about. Relocating to the UK with a dependent entitles the dependent to 40 hours work. And this is basically so that the dependent can work and support the student while he or she is going to school. This is supposed to be the plan, such that the student is actually studying, going to school, and the dependent is working and helping them to pay some of the bills as well as offset the tuition where possible. And it's easier for the students to focus on their studies. Yes, that was the theory. But in practice, it doesn't always really work like this. And sometimes, in recent times, there has been more of a challenge of it actually working like this. Now, let me explain. When you have more people entering into the system, into the labor market, who have 40 hours, who are entitled to full-time work, and you have people who are entitled to part-time work, as an employer, who will you choose? The thing is that both parties are now vying for the same jobs, the same roles. Most employers prefer to choose people who are going to put in the full time because it's easier logistically anyways to manage them. But when you have someone who is only going to do 20 hours, you have to manage people that are working part-time and people that are working full-time. And so most employers in recent times, because they have a lot to choose from, they are cherry picking. And a lot of dependents have actually been getting jobs while the students are not really faring so well. If your experience is different, please feel free to drop me a comment. But I have spoken to quite a few international students, and this is the same thing that they are experiencing. A lot of employers don't want to hire people who are going to work part-time, and they have that choice now because they are now dependent in the market who can do full-time work. So some students are not even getting jobs, and even the care home job, which are supposedly readily available, because when you are in the UK, there's likelihood that you might be having the challenge of not having UK work experience, which would have positioned you to get a job, because most jobs require you to have had UK work experience. And so that is why most people end up in the health sector, working as health assistants or carers or domiciliary carers of one sort or the other, because those are the jobs that most of the time don't require that UK work experience. So now, a lot of students, a lot of international students are actually struggling to get jobs, and that is something that I just wanted to let you know. If you're just coming into the country or you're planning to come in September, it's not that rosy anymore, because there's a glut in the labor market. People flew in from all over the world to the UK based on this policy, right? People came from India, from different parts of the world to study in the UK with their dependents. It's an international and a global market now in the UK, and the employers have a right to cherry pick. So everybody is not just having the field day that they had when they first made this policy. And so you see that even the carers are not getting enough roles, are not getting enough shifts. Yes, even the carers are not getting enough shifts. Them enough shifts because somehow they want to spread the shift so that everybody gets something. So you might see that some people who used to work 5 days a week might not be able to work only 4 days a week. And that means income level has also gone down for such people. So that's a challenge that people are facing. The third challenge is the fact that what you are earning in terms of remuneration might not be necessarily enough to offset your tuition fee. Standard tuition on average in the UK currently ranges between 15 to 20,000 pounds. I don't know if any school is really charging as little as 15,000 pounds currently for tuition in the UK. It's really huge. That is approximately 15 to 20 million naira. So 20 million naira, how many people have that kind of money to just pay once? Like, which kind of job were you doing? Were you working as, even if you're working in Shell, 20 million naira. That means you were not spending your salary at all. And for how many years were you doing that? So most people don't have that amount just lying in the bank. You have to, like, work. And if you don't have a scholarship, even your spouse being a dependent is likely going to be taking care of rent and other responsibilities. So what they are able to give you a month might not be more than £1,000. I'm really breaking it down to the barest level to make it, to drive home my point. If your experience is different, feel free to drop me a comment, because I really want to know how other people are managing. But most of the time, your dependents cannot give you more than £1,000 a month, because after they have been paid and they've paid rent and bills, and the salary was even taxed before they started paying those bills, they'll likely be down to about just 1,500, £1,200. And you just manage to give £1,000. But let me know if your experience is different. Now, you as an international student, you're working, and you're likely going to be making about 10 to 11 pounds an hour, because I believe they pay most international students minimum wage. Most times you won't even get 10-hour shifts. You're likely going to be getting 8-hour shifts, which gives you 16 hours per week. But assuming you do get 10-hour shifts and you're able to do your complete 20 hours per week, and you're earning, let me say, £11, or let me just put that £10 to make the math easier, just a little bit easier. That brings it to £200 a week, and at the end of the month you're looking at £800, right? So £800 is what you're looking at earning. Of course, that is going to be taxed. That is prior to tax. Assuming it's taxed and it comes down to £700, you do have other things to do with money. You're not just going to take that bulk sum and pay it into the school. Assuming you're going to pay some bills as well, because you may not want your dependent to take on all the bills. You just have to eat, and then also transport yourself. Your transportation per month is already going to take £50, right? And then that brings it down to 650. So you have bills to pay and everything. And assuming at the end of the day, you're left with about £600, if at all that. You're left with £600, and your spouse gives you £1,000. That's £1,600. That is if it really works like this. £1,600 a month for 10 months gives you £16,000. £16,000, great if you have been able to pay off your fees like this. But the actual truth is that it may not always work like that. If it pans out this way, then great, people will be able to pay off their tuition. But in many cases, it doesn't. So what is my advice? What is my recommendation? What do I recommend? Because I'm not just here to talk about problems. Like I said, this is the Positive Attitude channel. I don't only talk about problems, I also help you to find solution to your problems. Okay, so stick around, and I'm going to give you 3 tips that you can apply right now to help you pay off your tuition fee if you're an international student and you need help paying off your tuition fee. So the first thing I'm going to suggest is, 1, you need to keep your eyes peeled for when the school will be on holidays. That is when you're going to maximize your time, your effort, your work to make enough money to offset your tuition fee. We all know that schools go on holidays in Christmas and at Easter. For summer, not really. So for that Christmas holiday, you need to start now. This is July. Today is the 2nd of July. I'm shooting this video. I don't know when it is going to go up, but I'm sharing this video now because I want you to be ahead of the game. I don't want you to wait until that time comes. Before the schools will go on holiday, please kindly keep your eyes peeled on whatever app you're using to look for jobs. In your office, wherever you work, the apps you use, or whatever system you use, please let people know that you are available to work through Christmas. Let people know that you are available to work through the Christmas holidays. And if there are places where you need to go and lock down the shifts, please go now and do so. And thank me later. Many people did not know this, and I'm telling you that I did not know this, and it affected my ability to pay off my tuition fee. So do not slack at all. You have to do it now before it's too late. Keep your eyes peeled, and once the December slot starts showing up on the apps or whatever system you use, please immediately begin to lock them down. The next two things you need to do: number one, bear in mind that there are some jobs that are seasonal. For instance, you might be looking on through your Indeed Flex, or whatever apps you're using, and discover that there are some jobs that are offering £15, £16 an hour, and you want to drop the job you're doing now to go take those ones up. Please do not jump on a long thing. I don't know how they even say the English in Nigeria. Do not do it, because some of these jobs, they just exist for a period of time, a short period of time. And when those jobs, yes, you can work during those times and make some good money, but I don't want you to now be lost such that when it comes to the next holiday, which is Easter, you don't have a job. Some jobs are seasonal. Some companies, like Royal Mail hires people a lot during the Christmas season because they have a higher demand. And then you rush and take that job. It pays well. It pays very well, and you can actually make money, good money, and pay off your tuition to a degree. But it's very important to me that after that Christmas, you still have a job, because sometimes when you leave the job you're doing to rush and take on these high demand jobs or seasonal jobs, temporary jobs or casual job, what happens is that when they dump you, and they will dump you like last, everybody will chop breakfast. Those jobs, that is the truth. When they dump you and you get to the next year, January, your former employer might not be willing to take you back. Why? Because they might have replaced you with other people, and there might not be any slot anymore for you. So please don't run after those jobs. They pay well, they pay very high, but just stay with the job you're doing. Steady, slow and steady will win the race. They might not pay you so much, but at least you make some good money at Christmas, and then in January, February, March, you still have a job, which is so very, very important for you to be able to pay off your tuition fee. And then the third one I want to give, which is the last tip I have for you today, is that please note that Christmas and New Year are two days that you have to cancel from your register. This year, just this year that you're doing your masters, forget about Christmas, forget about New Year, because if you work on public holidays, bank holidays, and over those Christmas seasons, you will be paid double. So what am I saying? You'll be paid double to work on Christmas Day. You'll be paid double your salary to work on New Year's Day and any other bank holiday that I think Boxing Day is also a bank holiday. I'm not sure, but any bank holiday that exists, you'll be paid double. So why not just put in that time and make that money so that you can pay off your tuition fee? Because I can assure you, if you have not paid off your tuition, you definitely cannot consider indefinite leave to remain. So post-study work visa is very expensive, and you also need to be able to pay off your tuition in time so that you can consider switching to a new visa. You cannot switch to a new visa if you have not finished paying off your tuition fee. So this is what I learned from my own experience being a dependent to a student in the United Kingdom. We made these mistakes, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. That is why I'm shooting this video on a Sunday morning. So please like my video and share it with people you know are interested in coming to the UK to study, because I'll be putting out tips to help you from my own experience. And if you're planning to relocate to the UK on any kind of route, please subscribe to my channel, because I'll also be sharing my experience on this immigration journey. Please subscribe, please like my videos, and please share. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you in my forthcoming videos. Bye.